Imagine being 80 years old and still having the energy to play with your grandchildren, or to pursue your favorite hobbies without any limitations. Functional longevity is not just about living a long life. As someone who's struggled with health issues before, I know how hard it is to achieve functional longevity. But what if I told you that there are simple changes you can make to slow down the aging process? According to the American Journal of Gastroenterology, our gut health plays a crucial role in determining our overall well-being. By making a few key adjustments, you can start to feel more energetic. Welcome to our discussion on functional longevity, a concept that's gaining significant attention in the health and wellness community. Functional longevity refers to the ability to maintain physical and cognitive function as we age, allowing us to live a healthy, active, and independent life well into our older years. This isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. For instance, consider a 70-year-old individual who can still engage in their favorite hobbies, such as gardening or playing with their grandchildren, without being limited by health issues. Another key factor in achieving functional longevity is getting enough sleep. When we don't get enough rest, our bodies produce more stress hormones, which can lead to inflammation and accelerate the aging process. By establishing a consistent sleep routine and creating a relaxing bedtime environment, we can start to feel more rested and rejuvenated, and set ourselves up for long-term health and happiness. For instance, a study found that people who got at least 7 hours of sleep per night had lower levels of stress hormones and were less likely to develop chronic diseases. As we continue to explore the concept of functional longevity, it's essential to understand the role of lifestyle factors in maintaining our physical and cognitive abilities as we age. A key aspect of functional longevity is the ability to perform daily tasks and maintain independence, which is heavily influenced by our lifestyle choices. For instance, regular exercise, such as brisk walking or swimming, can significantly improve cardiovascular health, reduce the risk of chronic diseases, and enhance mobility. Furthermore, a balanced diet rich in whole. Finally, it's essential to manage stress effectively in order to achieve functional longevity. Chronic stress can lead to inflammation, anxiety, and even depression. By incorporating stress-reducing activities, such as meditation or deep breathing, into our daily routine, we can start to feel more calm and centered, and set ourselves up for long-term health and happiness. For instance, a study found that people who practiced mindfulness had lower levels of stress hormones and were less likely to develop chronic diseases. By making these simple changes to our daily routine, we can start to feel more energetic and vibrant, and set ourselves up for long-term health and happiness. It's never too late to start, and even small changes can make a big difference. So, take the first step today and start your journey towards functional longevity. Remember, it's not just about living longer, it's about living better, and enjoying every moment of life. So, what's one thing you can do today to start your journey towards functional longevity? Share with me in the comments below, and let's work together to achieve our health goals. What's the most important thing you've learned about achieving functional longevity, and how do you plan to apply it to your life? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, taking care of your health is an investment in your future, and it's never too late to start. By making small changes to our daily routine, we can start to feel more energetic and vibrant, and set ourselves up for long-term health and happiness. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you soon.